Hello England, hello world. Just like my first video as a critical criminologist, I sit making this video under a painting of Lord Shiva, Shiv Thakur, the Hindu god who was the destroyer, Brahma the creator, Vishnu the preserver, and Shiv Thakur the destroyer. I then have two more figurines here. One of Lord Shiva under the feet of his wife Kali, and more of Kali here. We see the final iteration of Kali and Shiv on the wall there. A painting that I bought at Dakshineshwar in West Bengal a few years ago. Lord Shiva was the destroyer who destroyed all that was in his path. Indeed, I recall my grandmother in the 90s telling me about the tale of Kali Thakur having her tongue stuck out in shame because she was stood on the body of her husband, and when Shiva, as the Westerners call him, or Shiv Thakur as we call him, banged the drum or even the body in fury, the whole world shook. We as human beings have always been enthralled by mythology, and in fact, Shiv Thakur's mythology of banging the drum as he held his wife's dead body in his arms millennia ago was one that kept the populations wrapped because of the supernatural and cosmic thought of the entire world and earth shattering as one god held the body of another, and destruction followed in his wake. Today in the White House there have been more shots fired, and I'm thinking about how chaos appears to be running supreme in this world. On Sundays now I often watch old episodes of Crime Watch from the 2000s. What a rock and roll lifestyle I lead. I recall when in the early 2000s I was a summer supervisor at a public school in Woking. The children, who were about 10 or 11, were not oblivious, or were oblivious I should say, of Saddam Hussein's sons being shot by American troops. Because there was no internet on site. Smartphones did not exist in the early 2000s, and we had to walk past the green to the newsagents where we bought milk and the newspapers, and on front of the Daily Mail were the two corpses of Uday and Kusai, and we the supervisors talked about it amongst ourselves. And I remember one of the white men who was a supervisor said to me, "Dev, should you be buying the Daily Mail as a brown man?" But I really do feel when I watch these old episodes of Crime Watch, that before the internet, life really was slower. The pace of life was slower. I don't know how, if at all, this channel is going to progress. My initial, for those who are watching, and I hope some of you do, my initial career path before becoming a criminologist was I got called to the bar, and then before that I was an active stand-up comedian. But now there seems to be little to laugh about. Even the stand-up shows that I've recently been to, including a guy called Kay Kurt, the crowds seem to be somewhat hesitant in their laughter, because when so much horror and terror goes on in the world, there seems to be little to laugh at. I've tuned out of the news of Trump and the White House recent incident. I recall the first time Trump was shot, or I would say allegedly shot, but I don't know what we're allowed to say nowadays. When he was allegedly shot, if I say that, maybe the American authorities will watch this video and go, "Oh, he's a conspiracy theorist." I'm not. I'm just a lawyer and a criminologist. I was in an apartment in Salford restarting my legal career, or so I thought. And I saw Trump saying, fight, fight, fight. And yet, in the following 2 years, any praise that he might have garnered has been vitiated by his depravity and his rudeness and his narcissism. And yet, today we have more gunshots, we have more chaos, we have another saga in what you could say is the 21st century's equivalent of a destroyer. Anyway, I've just a quick one today, very different vibe to yesterday's video where I was talking about our economy and polity, but today I'm talking about society. Remember, don't hesitate, litigate. Subscribe below.